You know that feeling when your mind is like a web browser with just way too many tabs open? Well, that's a timeless problem. And today, we're diving into an ancient, and I mean incredibly systematic, guide for solving it, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. And this isn't just about stretching, it's a complete blueprint for mental clarity. This one line, this is it. This is the entire mission statement of the Yoga Sutras. For a minute, forget everything you think yoga is. At its absolute core, it's a psychological discipline with one single profound goal: to bring that constant chatter in our minds to a state of calm, focused stillness. So, what are these modifications we're trying to calm down? Patanjali calls them Chitta-vrittis. And really, it's all the stuff of our daily mental life, right? That endless stream of thoughts, the waves of emotion, the memories that just pop up out of nowhere, how we see the world. It's that constant internal monologue that never seems to shut off. To really get a handle on this, think of your mind as a lake, and your true, calm self, your consciousness, is the moon hanging in the sky above it. Now, when the vrittis, those waves of thought and emotion, are churning up the water, you can't see a clear reflection of the moon, can you? It's all distorted. The whole goal of yoga is to calm those waves, so the lake becomes perfectly still, and you can finally see that clear, steady light of your true self. Now, here's what's so remarkable about this system. It's incredibly flexible. Patanjali totally understood that we're all different. We have unique mental temperaments, different strengths. So he didn't just create one single rigid path. Nope. He offered a kind of ladder with multiple starting points, a totally tailored approach for every type of person. He essentially laid out three main paths. We can think of them as an express route, a scenic route, and a base camp. Each one is designed for a different level of mental discipline and, readiness. All right, let's start at the top with the express route. This is for those folks who already have a pretty strong will, a sharp intellect, and a good amount of mental control to begin with. For them, the path really boils down to two core components. You've got abhyasa, which is that sustained, focused effort to keep the mind steady. And then you have its partner, vairagya. That's a deep sense of dispassion or just letting go of our attachments to outcomes and pleasures. Think of them like an engine and a steering wheel. They have to work together. The ancient commentator Vyasa put it so beautifully. He said, practice and dispassion are like the two wings of the bird of liberation. And that's just perfect, isn't it? You absolutely need both to fly. If you only have one, you're just going to spin around in circles. Patanjali also offered a kind of parallel path for the advanced practitioner who's maybe a bit more devotional in nature. So here, instead of relying on pure willpower, the ego is dissolved through a loving surrender to a higher ideal or power. The end result? Exactly the same. The waves of the mind naturally begin to subside. Okay, but what if your mind isn't quite that disciplined yet? I mean, who's this, right? So let's move down to the scenic route, which is designed for the intermediate practitioner who needs a bit more structure to help purify their mind. For this group, Patanjali prescribes something called Kriya Yoga, or the yoga of action. This is a much more active path. It's designed specifically to weaken those mental roadblocks, things like ego and ignorance, and really get the mind ready for deeper states of meditation. Kriya Yoga stands on three pillars. First up is tapas, or self-discipline, which kind of burns away mental impurities. Second is swajudaya, which is self-study, and that fills the mind with uplifting and illuminating thoughts. And third, look, here it is again, Ishvara pranidhana, or surrender, which makes sure our actions are done with humility. And now we arrive at the base camp. This is the most comprehensive path, and it's really designed for those of us whose minds are often restless, distracted, or even kind of dull. This is the foundational training ground. This path is the famous Ashtanga Yoga, or the Eightfold Path. It's a complete, step-by-step system that works from the outside in, giving you tangible, real practices to gradually bring your body, your energy, and your mind into alignment. And the 8 limbs progress just so beautifully. You start with ethics and personal observances, basically how you live in the world. Then you stabilize the body with posture and your energy with breath control. And only then do you start to move inward, withdrawing the senses and entering these progressively deeper states of meditation. But what if you need help, like right now? Patanjali, being this incredibly practical teacher, also offered a universal toolkit, some remedies that anyone on any path can use to find balance in a pinch.
Think of these as mental first aid. They're these extra methods you can just pull out of your back pocket anytime you need to calm the chitta, that mind stuff, and purify your emotional state right on the spot. This practice is like a form of emotional hygiene. So instead of getting caught up in envy, you actively cultivate friendliness for people who are happy. Instead of just reacting with anger, you cultivate compassion for those who are suffering. You're basically countering negativity with its opposite, which protects your own inner peace. It's brilliant. One of the most direct and powerful tools in the entire system is simply your breath. Patanjali points out that a simple practice of a forceful exhalation followed by holding the breath out can immediately, and I mean instantly, pacify a restless mind. It's like a physiological hack that directly impacts your mental state. So here's a quick look at how it all fits together. The entire system can be laid out by the type of practitioner, from beginner to advanced, the primary practice they use, the key methods involved, and of course, the ultimate goal. You can see how each path leads to the same summit. And this is a really key takeaway. The goal is not to create a blank, empty mind. That is such a common misconception. It's all about transforming the quality of your thought from that turbulent, chaotic movement into a serene, powerful stillness. And that brings us full circle, right back to our lake. When the winds of the vrittis finally subside, the surface becomes like glass, and the lake of our consciousness can then perfectly reflect that steady, peaceful light of the self, full and serene. So Patanjali's system gives us this incredible map, showing us the express route, the scenic trail, and the foundational base camp. The only question left to consider is, where on the ladder does your journey begin?